Hi, this is Dusty. Today I just want to talk about how to make one of the best overall builds. Mostly concentrating on wizardry. Um, the strong point of this build is that it does massive damage. The drawback is that it's also one of the squishiest builds in the game as well. For this build, we're going to be focusing on the General of Man armor. Uh, More specifically, this this Berserker's Might is not something you're gonna find in most other armor sets. The only other armor set that gives you Berserker's Might is the White Chivalry armor. No, the White Cavalry armor. That's it. And it's a 5-piece requirement, so you'll need to wear the White Cavalry equipment, including the weapon, in order to get it. While as for the General of Man armor, you could just wear the armor itself and it'll give you Berserker's Might. And based on the description, it increases the damage you deal to enemies, but it also increases the damage you take. Note that it says increases damage dealt to enemies. It does not state any specific type, so this does increase your magic damage too. So that's one thing you should note about this armor set. As for why I have two of the same weapons, it's so I could use this. Well, they're two of the same weapons, so the two same weapon arts, or martial arts rather. So I wanted that because the weapon swap attack gives me a very nice long range thrust. So that's why I have two similar weapons. Anyways, as for the general stats that you want on your equipment, normally you'd want damage against enemies with, well, one second, before the weapon or other stuff would work, you'd need two very specific kind of accessories. One that restores your okay. One that restores your health when you're casting spells, and the other that gives you health when attacking with any melee attack. But why those work is that the other particular attribute you want, or special effect you want, is power gain on HP recovery. That way all my melee attacks and my wizardry spells will do will activate power gain, which will increase attack damage dealt to enemies. Again, it doesn't state enemy specific type, but it does work on spells as well. So, very important that you get these two accessories that have those particular special effects. The flame attack power is just a nice bonus that they both have. That being said, for your helmet in particular, you want to have damage amplification when you hit an enemy with your spells. Same for your weapons. apply damage amplification when you use martial arts on them. That way the enemy is always debuffed, which is why every single piece of equipment that you could get damage to enemies with negative effects, you want to use that instead of the other damage ups. And it's important to have flame and ice attack power for all your for all the equipment that you could put it on. And the difference with, and for your gauntlets in particular, you want to have spirit vulnerability when you deflect a critical blow, which is probably the best time to apply a spirit vulnerability when you counter a red attack. So that being said, my combined total for flame attack power is 153, and it's 144 for ice attack. Damage dealt, well, that's not good, but damage dealt with negative effects plus 15%, 15.7 to be exact. So, that is quite some substantial damage. So, as you can see, for my stats, I have 60 fire, 30 metal. This is mostly optional, but if you want to cast more often, you're definitely going to need the metal and water. The thing is, these are to get your fire attack and your this is a weird glitch. This is so you could get your fire magic and your water magic to do as much damage as they can. As far as armor goes, General of Man is a very light armor set, so this will almost get you to A agility. The only difference between your build and mine would probably be the headpiece, because this is a random set bonus that can appear on any piece of equipment that does not originally have an armor set, which only appears on New Game Plus. So, with that out of the way, let's talk about the spells that you want to use as you level up. Okay, 1 second. As you're leveling up, the first spell that you want is Fire Blast from the fire tree, and Frost Lance from the water tree. These two spells you're going to use for a very long while. Once you don't level water much at all at the beginning, you want to focus on fire, because you want this bursting fireball. This is your first high damaging spell available to you before you have access to one of the ice's strongest spells. And in order to get the strongest ice spell in the game, you need to get 40 water. But you need to complete a special mission in order to unlock the spell. So just focus on fire until you unlock this. Then you redistribute the points so you have at least 15 fire and 40 water. The next breaking point is the next breaking point is you're going to eventually replace your initial fireball with this overpowered burst, because this will make your bursting fireball extremely powerful with the equipment setup that I showed you. So it's so strong that it essentially one-shots enemies. As far as weapons go, I believe the Sirius is one of the best one-handed swords available in the game, particularly because of Violent Sandstorm, which will appear on every single Sirius that you find. And you want to farm a Sirius that has Moonbreak. Moonbreak is a very high costing martial arts, so it does very good damage, but what's important is that it's a very short animation. The more you can spam it, the more power. Like, the shorter duration, the more often you can spam it within a short period of time. So every time you counter an attack, you just throw this, and the damage will build up very quickly, because when you deflect, you activate Berserker's Might, and when you hit the opponent with the martial art, you're gonna apply a power debuff, so they take more damage, and you gain more damage because you're gaining HP by hitting the opponent. So you activate your own other damage buff. So every time you use a spell or you block, and when you block and apply a martial art, you're gonna get 2 attack ups, and the enemy is gonna get a defense down. As far as Violent Sandstorm, this is one of the best approach martial arts in the game, because not only can it travel some distance, but it's very swift. But basically, this all its how should I put this? This martial art has very small animation recoveries, because all of its animation locks are at the beginning. So once you hit the opponent with the attack, you can immediately attack with normal, or immediately use normal attacks. So when combined with the other martial art, it's gonna look like a 3-hit combo, which is quite a lot of damage for such a short duration. And that's why the Sirius is considered one of the best one-handed swords available. Of course, you could use any weapon you want, but for one-handed swords, I definitely recommend the Sirius. Okay, I think that about covers it. Next I'll show you videos on how strong this build is on New Game Plus with 0 morale. Once you have the morale to use the more powerful spells, and see how well it does against bosses back to back, without any particular cuts in between. Anyways, enjoy!
Chi hasn't settled down even with Zhang Bao dead. This can't be good. We've won. Things should return to normal in the valley now.
Your heroics often remind me of a dragon. But what do you know of a true dragon? It is said that a dragon destined for the heights first hides himself far from sight. And here I thought you were a great warrior. Perhaps a frontal attack is not the way here. Don't think that you won just yet. A superb display. I knew you were destined for more than being a mere militia soldier. I have wholly underestimated you. Not many possess them. Think of what we could achieve if we were to unite our forces.
Although I have met some fine warriors in my life, I have yet to attain such. For a true test of my skills, I challenge you to a duel. I still have plenty of fight in me. Was that it? All my strength in me, I will not yield. A dragon could not have fought with greater ferocity. Even my utmost efforts were inadequate. You have my total respect. The two of us are linked by the radiant Qilin, and I shall take heart from that in the coming battles. One day, though, I will rise to your level. I promise you.